Hey, and welcome to the Blueprints to Buildings podcast. I'm your host, Glen Palmer, and on this show, I interview the movers and shakers in the world of property development and real estate. So, this show is brought to you by Breakthrough in PropTech. It's a visual platform helping some developers quietly using it cut 11% off build costs and sell units before the first brick has been laid. It's already replacing traditional 3D models absolutely completely. And if you want to know how we do it, just drop me a message in LinkedIn at Glen Palmer Secure or check out the show notes below. So on today's show, our guest is Geva Barash. Now, he is the founder and CEO of Secure Our City, a brand-agnostic security technology design firm that helps architects, municipalities, schools, and property managers build future-ready integrated security and low voltage systems all across the US. Jiva, really good to have you on the show. Glad you could make it. And shall we dive in, shall we?
I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah. So, very first question I ask all my guests, if time travel became a reality and you had a chance to go back in time to who you were when you first started your career, what advice would the person that you are now tell your younger self?
It's the advice that I give everybody, and it's still true today, is when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, make sure you can live with the person you see there.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. So
I'm the old business kind of a guy. I'm old type, and I strongly believe that my word is what binds me. So when I make a commitment to somebody, whether it be work, personal, I always keep that word. And my kids can vouch for it because they have been trying for now probably 16 years. They're older, but in the last 16 years, we had a wage that if they can find me either saying something that's not true or showing up late to anything, they got one on me. They're still it's 16 years in the making and they still haven't been able to catch
not for want of lack of trying though. Jiva, you built a firm around fixing problems that most people only notice when it's too late. We know in the security industry, it's always an afterthought. And what's the biggest mistake organizers make when planning security and low voltage systems? And how does Secure Our City step in to prevent those costly oversights?
Well, it's a great that's what we face on a daily basis. I think that the biggest thing is trying to convince the end user, the property managers, to invest in the security and not just an afterthought. And
Yeah.
then we have to address it with the architects because when you're designing a property and you don't have a security low voltage technology consultant on staff, um, the steps that you have to take after to remedy might be, costing you 3 or 4 times as much as if you had somebody on the staff. We work with a lot of architects that understand that.
Hmm.
So they are working with us and we're involved since step one. And that actually, it's such a big difference between trying to make it an afterthought after with, oops, we forgot, versus let the security consultant, the technology consultant be part of the team from day one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, precisely, exactly. Because, I mean, the amount of times, I mean, even simple things like, they're building a building, they've got a room, and they don't think of the blind spots. So they don't think of, where the positioning of the camera is going to be facing. Is that going to be a blind spot? Are we gonna need another camera? And then all of a sudden, instead of having one camera, you're having three or four to try and cover one where if you had sort of the knowledge as you are designing it and as you are building it, you would be able
Yes.
to get rid of those costly oversights. So yeah, totally understand where you're coming from. been in the business myself, so yeah, it's a hard one. Now, just a quick side question to that is who would be in charge of trying to get the property developer to sign off on security right at the beginning? Would that be you guys, or would that be the architects?
So it really depends. That's a question that's a tough one to answer because I would say yes to all of the above because it depends because we have some property management companies that we are their security consultant. So we're hired by the property manager. We have one account that has close to 2,800 locations
Wow.
on the um, on the eastern side of the United States, and they look for us to create their standards. There, we're converting all of their properties into a single platform to manage.
Wow.
In that essence, the end user is dictating to the architect, you need to use this guy.
Mm,
Uh, on other places, we work with the architects and we go in and we look at the existing condition for that property management company. And then we design based on their existing conditions.
mm,
So it's different. Every customer is a little different. Every account has its own perks, but the bottom line to all of this is as you've mentioned in your first question, is the fact that we are involved in the process, we're able to save them a lot of money and give them technology that if they did it as an afterthought would cost too much to implement because of the
yeah.
extra work that is
Yeah,
involved.
yeah, yeah. Oh, 100%. So you work across, hundreds of public buildings, school districts, emergency operation centers. What is the actual toughest challenge that you face in the US when coordinating between the architects or the different authorities and the technology vendors that you have to consider? So what are the challenges that you face there, Jiva?
I think that the biggest challenge here is not on the technology. What we do, the process that we have today is somewhat unique to our company. I know everybody says the same thing, but we literally go through a step by step before we even did anything on the drawings, on the design. We want to understand what is the need. Property management, some of them have theater rooms. How do we make sure that those theater rooms will be not just designed properly, but will be end user safe? And I say it as half jokingly, but one of the biggest problem we see in property management is that and I'm talking about apartment property management, is that people go into the theater room and they start pulling cables out and they make a mess of it, and after a week the theater room's not working.
Mm,
So we try to look at the pains of every one of the customers. What are they looking to achieve? And then we design something that will fit into that
nice.
requests that they have. I think that our biggest problem is that people want a lot. Everybody wants a lot, but not always the budget exists to be able
Yes,
to
I have
actually.
come across that a hell of a lot of times.
Yep.
They want the smartest security tech in the world, but they don't want to pay for it.
It's called VE, value engineering. So
Yeah.
most of the projects that we go through, we design something, we come to them with all the bells and whistles that they've asked for, and then we, on a few of them, have to do value engineering and scale it down to be able to meet the budget.
Yeah.
Um, it's different from schools to property management to commercial property management versus residential.
Yeah. I mean, all have their unique security needs.
Exactly.
For example, a residential is going to have totally different needs to a commercial building that is stocking high value goods, for example. Totally different. Uh,
And I'll give you an example on a residential, we actually had to work around the fact that there were a lot of drug deals happening at the property, and we were able to use analytics and to figure out what's going on. And then we saw that actually the gate operator was used as a drop-off point, and
Uh,
they would open the gate operator, put the money there, close it, and then the dealer would show up, open the gate operator, and pull out the money, leave the drugs. So addressing issues like this with different, you know, I would say with different technology
mm,
allows you to do a lot,
yeah,
and we can address the needs of everybody.
yeah, definitely. So, talking about security tech and how it's evolving really fast. So you've got cloud, you've got, like you say, AI analytics now, you've got integrated access, you've got smart buildings. So from
Yep.
your vantage point, where is the industry actually heading in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think that the industry took a major shock when COVID hit.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you look at property management, we went from the commercial where nobody went to the office to the residential where everybody was working out of home. So there was such a major shift. And on top of that, analytics, AI, all of that technology kept on developing. So when you're looking at the apartments that we designed today, I think that if you look at some of the designs that we're doing, you would be, you know, you would laugh, you would smile because where we were 5 years ago versus today is so much different.
Mm,
Today, you come in, you rent an apartment. By the time you rent the apartment, you already have clearance to get into the gym, the main entrances. It's all incorporated into one. So your onboarding in terms of a new tenant also allows you into the security system, also allows you into the gym, the pool. It gives you all your, access and security and everything else. I think that when you look at that, and today we're doing a project right now where we're doing a smart apartment ready design. So the apartments are all ready to be smart apartments. So if the tenant comes in and wants to have a smart apartment, they can get a lock, put it in, but the infrastructure is already there.
hmm
And those, it's a couple of $100s per apartment and your smart apartment ready. So
Yeah.
I think that the way that the industry is going, how we're developing, how the ability to do everything through your phone. If you're feeling cold, you can log into your phone and turn the heat on at the apartment, like increase it. Those are kind of things that I think that the smart apartment is going to get more and more to even, you know, I would say not just the high end apartment, but also middle to lower end locations, it will become more affordable.
Yeah. So as it progresses, as it gets bigger, as the more technology grows, it's going to be easier to implement, and therefore you can reduce the prices a little bit and let the middle and lower guys, have some of the benefits that the big guys have. So,
Exactly.
given how complex these systems are, how valuable is visual clarity? So digital models, integrated previews, walkthroughs, basically, in helping stakeholders understand the security ecosystem before construction even begins.
So there's you again, this is just you hit the nail on the head. Um, when we sit down with property managers, when we sit down with stakeholders, um, I have everything on my phone. So even though I don't have, we as a company are not dependent on the technology. We are an company that, will listen to what you need and will give you the solution, the best solution. We'll give you three options. We'll help you make a decision. we're agnostic to the what technology, but I'm able to pull out any one of the technologies on my phone and be able to show the property manager, the stakeholder, hey, you want to open a door? Let me show you how I open the door at my office. Let me show you how I show you. And I can show them different systems operating
Mm,
and they can choose. We also do online demos for them. So we have done in the past, we work more with universities and school district where we would do a demo for them in-house. We created a technology day.
yeah,
All the vendors came in. We invited probably about 7 to 10 vendors, and the school, the university, this was a higher education campus, today has probably over 2,500 cameras, wireless locks. I mean, all came in from that technology day. They chose a certain technology and went forward with it. So
yeah,
it depends on the end user, it depends on the stakeholders, it depends on who's looking at it. And we address it. We vary the response to your question by the
yeah.
customer we're dealing with.
Yeah, and that sort of comes in nicely to my last question. So when you present that clear visual of how all the systems integrate, your access control, your CCTV, your intrusion detection, your IT, does that improve the buy-in and reduce that confusion between the different project teams? Does it make clients make better decisions so that they're actually seeing the solution, they can see it, they can see how all the parts fit together. That gives them a more clarity. So yeah, so basically the question is, does that improve the buy-in and reduce that confusion?
I will tell you that on security and technology are probably, when you're looking at a new apartment building, the technology is probably the one thing that is most likely to be problematic at the end if you didn't do it correctly.
Yeah,
I can look at so many different products that go into the apartment, the flooring, the bathtubs. There's so many things, but the only one that you can, have a problem with the installation because you typed in by mistake on your IP address a two instead of a three, and then there's the IP addresses is the same as another camera, so you got two cameras. Like there's no other product in a property management that is this complex when it comes to technology, when it
yeah,
comes to security. So, yes, we give a lot of clarity, but then the biggest thing at the end is the implementation. Um, we are notoriously, um, about our specs. We are very detailed oriented about specs, about schematic diagrams. We make sure that the implementation is done correctly. So we're also the commissioning agent for all these projects. So we can help at the beginning, making sure that the installation will be done properly. We make sure that the training is there and we make sure that we're commissioning the product and it's working. I think that that is a key to making sure that the implementation is what the stakeholders saw at the beginning when we showed them a demo of the system.
yeah, yeah. Oh, excellent. Well, that's the end of the show, Jiva. Absolutely loved our conversation on security. As both you and I know, it's the last thing companies think about, and it should be on the agenda from the start. And of course, thank you for the listeners as well. Jiva, just before we sign off, if you want listeners to get in contact with you, learn about what you offer at Secure Our City, what is the best way for my listeners to do that?
Our website is www.secureourcity.com. All of our details are on there. We're about to launch a brand new website with the beginning of the year, where I think anybody that has seen our website will be pleasantly surprised at the amount of information and the ability to get it. So, and if you just want to shoot an email, it's SAFE at secureourcity.com, and somebody will get back to you immediately.
Brilliant. Jiva, thank you very much. Um,
Thank you.
Before we close off today's episode, if you're still wondering about that prop tech thing I mentioned at the start, good. You should be. Drop me a message and I'll message you and show you what the early adopters are up to. Thank you. You are watching Blueprints of Buildings. I am Glen Palmer. That was Jiva. Thank you very much and see you on the next show.